everyone, this is Billie Kidd, and welcome to the Shadows of Darkness realm. In the realm, you can refer to me as Shadow Demon. Now, it sounds kind of cliche, but that is a nickname I unfortunately did give myself when I was in high school, being the gothic kid in a small town USA school. So, um, but with that being said, I am new to all of this. I am an aspiring author, so I'm trying to build my platform, of course. And I figured this is just a great way for you guys to get to know me. I guess, I guess for starters, you guys can kind of get the hint that I'm into the dark and mysterious, of course. Always have been. It's kind of weird, actually. Even though it used to give me nightmares, I would watch like Saw until I passed out and then have nightmares. I love watching like zombie movies, Purge, all kind of different stuff now. But I digress. Sorry. Um, but of course, with the dark and mysterious, there's always the happier side of things. With that, I like to add a touch of the romance stuff. Um, Unfortunately, as young as I am, I have been through a lot of darkness. Uh, Definitely sucks, but I can always say there is light at the end of the tunnel. The romance I add to my storylines is precisely that. It's a light at the end of the tunnel, even though it's not the perfect happily ever after. It's a happier ever after, if that makes sense, of course. Um, but definitely have to say it's hard being an author. Um, I set a goal for myself to complete my first book, which I'll get to that in a bit. I completed a goal for my, or I set a goal for myself to complete my first book, like public, written, edited, published, uh, by the end of, I believe, 23. I believe it was 23 because it was before we moved. Um, and that didn't happen. Of course, that's kind of an unrealistic goal. um, Now that I'm in school and understanding the process, of course. With that being said, I actually don't have a degree yet. Um, I know a lot of people think that big careers and everything, you have to have a degree. When in fact, you don't. I mean, is it beneficial that I'm getting my degree? Yes. But could I do it without it? Yes. I chose to go to. I chose to get my bachelor's in creative writing because I wanted to be a better writer. And I think that's the greatest thing you can do for yourself or any type of work you do is just find a way to be better. Um, I wanted to learn the ins and outs, how to project myself the way I am now, make my writing better, just everything along the lines of. Um, Sorry, I am just getting over being sick, so my voice might sound a little weird. Sorry, I'm a little weird. um, Getting back to my first book. My first book, I have titled it Such a Beautiful Lie. Ironically, I started writing that when I was 17. It kind of started off as one of those I was bored situations and had to finish it somehow. So I kind of rushed everything towards the end because I didn't want to leave it unfinished. Um, at the time, I was going to school for forensic science because I was dying to be like Abby Shuto off of NCIS. My fellow geeks will understand. um, yeah, yeah. What caught me on that one was definitely calculus. Calculus is not my thing. I was good at math in high school, but calculus, no. um, After and that kind of came to an end because of COVID. wasn't doing good. COVID was working. It was just a pain overall. I did transfer to a different school that was all online, meant to be all online, and didn't like that. Unfortunately, I was going for my psychology degree, because that was the one AP exam I managed to pass in high school somehow or another. But of course, didn't like the school. Became too much, so I quit for a while. Um, can definitely say the college life is not for everyone, and it is different for everyone. Um, I thought I would be valedictorian of my high school class, straight into college, graduate on time. No, definitely, definitely somewhat unrealistic goals, of course, but I'm very happy to be where I am now. I did graduate high school a year early with above a 4.0 GPA, so I wasn't valedictorian, but that's a plus. And though I was technically supposed to graduate college like 23, 24, yeah, it kind of sucks as everybody my age is starting to post, hey, I graduated. I kind of sucks, but I'm doing everything at my own pace. I'm doing everything that's good for me. And that's all you can really do. Um, so getting back to the first book. The first book, it is a thriller that is about five teenage boys that decide to go on this adventurous trip, um, something new they have never done together before, to celebrate their last spring break as high schoolers. However, on this trip, they come face to face with the ghosts of their past, and inevitably, it leads to a life or death situation. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, I did add a dash of romance in there, my little specialty touch. But yeah, just that that book alone is probably the most important book I have written and will ever write. It is what started me. It is what made me want to be better. It started this career. It started this career. Um, so like I said, I initially started writing this when I was like 17. Um, over the years, I let a few selected people read it, and I got the same feedback. Rush the ending. I want more. I want more. I want more. So that's exactly what I did. I sat down, took the time to take what I had, lay out a better outline, and work from there. So I think that's one thing I might do once that book actually gets published. Um, Basically give you the first ever copy and the final edition, just so you guys can see where that work made it to and from. Um, my second work, I definitely wasn't planning on it becoming an important work of mine, as it had honestly just started as a class assignment. Um, but now that I've worked on it a little bit more, I am definitely invested in it more than just a class assignment. This one I call oxytocin, which those of you who love the sciencey realm, like I said, I was a bit of a chemistry geek at one point. um, Oxytocin is one of the happy feel good neurons, hormones in your brain. They help you make romantic connections, social connections, all that kind of stuff. But if you were to overdose on it, it could actually be very lethal. So, with that being said, oxytocin is a murder, like, murder romance type situation. On one hand, we got someone, a ravenous serial killer, rampaging through the state of Vermont, going town to town, killing someone, and moving on to the next town, basically. And then on the other hand, you have a small town girl, basically. She's in love with her best friend's brother, and eventually the two timelines kind of intersect, and we will see where it goes from there. I definitely have a clue of where I want to take it, just not like a full idea quite yet, which is acceptable. Everything is a learning process, and you can always change your mind in the end. So, definitely really excited about that. Unfortunately, I don't have anything published yet. Like, I haven't put any of my works into, like, contests. I'm just me. I'm starting fresh. I have considered looking into some of the contests and everything, but it's definitely going to be a baby step, because I'm definitely a little on the shyer side. But we'll see how this goes. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for entertaining this wonderful idea. um, like I said, this is the Shadows of Darkness realm. You can find me on TikTok, you can find me on YouTube, and you can find me on my website, where I will be uploading, hopefully weekly vlogs. We'll see how that goes. On my daily, not my daily life, but the life inside of a writer's head, I guess, type situation. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed. I will see you next time. Assuming I don't take this video down and repost a new one. Like I said, this is just for starters, so fingers crossed, guys. Let's see how this goes. Bye.